Okay, then what?
Then I'm going to go through the pace. I'm going to lower the first thing that I can lower, and that would be the 7.
Okay.
So instead of this note, I'm going to replace this B natural with a B flat. So
Flat.
now the scale sounds like this. And the chord tones, the thirds from that scale would be C. Here's the third, here's the 5, and there's the flat 7.
And whenever you hear a C7, doesn't it resolve to a C7 an F? Does it resolve to an F? Like if you play on a guitar and play a C7, then
It can, because it can do that, or it can stand alone. It can be the basis of a C blues.
yes.
Where everything is a 7 chord, and it doesn't necessarily imply the resolution back to a 1. So dominant chords, I call them dominant, and I'm kind of talking loose about it because sometimes the dominant chord really does mean the 5 of your root chord. It has a dominant effect where that C7 becomes a 5 implication that resolves back to a 1. But it doesn't have to be that way. They can be its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat is a C7?
Yes.
Okay.
C.
Because the 7th is flatted.
Because the seventh
It's a
is
flat
flatted.
7, flatted.
Flat to 7.
Flat the 7.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so cool. Then what's the next
And
thing?
then we flat the 3rd.
Then
And
we
we're going
flat
to keep the flat 7.
Keep 7th and add a flat 3rd.
Yeah, so that's.
Okay.
So it's like this. It's sort of like a
C,
math
D.
problem where you have an order of operations, where in order to figure out a quadratic equation, you have to do you got to do the things in the parentheses first,
Yeah.
and then do your fractions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I barely remember this stuff, but I do. The thing that I do remember about math classes specifically was that there was in order to make it work, you had to do things in a certain order.
Okay.
Yes, and teachers always would
Yeah.
do the multiple choices to take advantage of everything you could possibly do wrong. So all the answers you think, which one is it? Because which one do you do first?
That's why it's important. I mean, that was the big takeaway. So I had a musical application for that concept. I don't remember the formulas and the equation stuff, but it does match what we have to do with our order of operations to create different chords.
Okay.
So this way you don't have to guess about how do you possibly know what this symbol represents. The symbol tells you, just like the minor 7 flat 5. It tells you minor. That's the 3.
That's the 3rd.
The 7. That's the 7.
C minor.
Then the flat 5. So it gives you everything. It tells you really C's your root. Minor means to make the 3rd flat.
Okay.
7 means that you got to flat the 7, and then the flat 5 means that you lower the 5th degree by a half step. So it's really wonderful when you see it. When you could go on from there, it'd be like
If you
C minor 7, flat 5, sharp 9.
so you do so you keep the minor 7, the 3 and the 5 flat, and then you add the 5th, which is the G.
Mm-hmm.
G flat,
Yeah, it had to be
which
a
is an
G
F
flat.
sharp. F,
Yeah, but you want to call it
a G flat,
Yeah,
and then you
because
keep them. You keep
the
them
important thing is that a scale must always have an alphabetical sequence.
all. Oh, okay.
You can't repeat a letter, and you
Okay.
can't skip a letter.
Okay.
So you've got to make whatever letter that's there, that's available, adjust to the situation.
Do you
That's
ever-
why we end up having C flats.
Yeah, and some in
F
there.
flats in some cases.
Except in the Tchaikovsky piece, did they not have an E and an E flat? No, in the same. You know, it was crazy. Do you ever flat a 5 and not a 3, or instead of? Do you ever? Are they always or like family?
That would be. It's generally. I mean, you could, I suppose.
No, I'm
I mean,
just asking. I don't know.
You got.
Okay,
Really, this would be.
that's kind of
This
weird.
sound is really the sound of an augmented fourth. So this is what we have when we play our fourth mode. We have what we call a Lydian sound.
Okay,
You know,
fourth mode.
so this the sharp 4 would be the sharp 11. And the
Well,
sixth
I'm
would
not-
also be a
I am
sharp
not ready
11,
for that.
13, This
Okay.
sound.
Forget I asked. Okay.
So that helps you when you see like these
What is-
real mystical kind of like chord
What is this?
names. Yeah, it's like, well, what the hell is all that? It's a recipe.
Okay.
You know,
Very interesting.
it's a recipe of ingredients.